Hi dear students, I hope you are all doing fine. Now I am Amit Ajmani and I will be taking up this chapter, sorting materials into groups. Now students, it is a very simple, normal, common observation that we see so many things around us, in our house, outside our house, in our schools, but actually we have got so used to and so familiar with these objects that we actually don't try to find out the various details about it. Now, what are all the various objects that you see around you? Normally we see tables, chair, bag, books, clothes, birds, cars, trees, another all type of vehicles, the walls, so many things, right? But have you ever tried to think what are all these materials made up of? No. If we try to relate, we find that all these materials are made up of various different type of items. For example, mainly the different materials we see around us are whether things are made up of wood or glass. There are certain things made up of rubber, many things made up of plastic, so many things made up of cotton, so many things made up of metals, so many things made up of non-metals, right? Another thing is, all these things that we see around, which are made up of all these different varieties of material, they are different. How they are different? They are different in their shape, they are different in their size and in their colors. Now there is so much of variety, so many differences. So how do we study them if we want to study them? So if we want to study them, what we need to do is, first of all, we need to do this particular process known as classification. Now what exactly is meant by classification? Classification means it is a process of grouping together of same type of items at one place. Now what is meant by this? Please try to relate and understand. First of all, we will see the properties of the various objects, right? And according to those properties, we will try to find what all things are of same type. And once we have that same type of atoms, we place them under one particular group. For example, all the material made up of wood, place it in one group. The table and the sofa and the bed and everything, whatever is made up of the doors, etc., under one group, that is made up of wood. Another things made up of plastic. So one criteria of making groups is depending upon what exactly is making those particular items, right? The broad classification, we start up with, first of all, whether it is a living thing or a non-living thing. When we talk about living and non-living, all the animals, human beings, they come under living. All the objects, they are non-living. Now classifying the non-living things. So it is a very long process. And why do we do this classification? The reason is it makes the study comparatively easier. I'll give you a few examples. In our own houses, we have done the classification. For example, your books are kept at one place and your brother or sister books are kept at another place. Why? Because in that way, you are able to conveniently check out. Just try to relate. If all the books are mixed together, then it will be very difficult for you. This is classification. Another example of classification is our clothes. My clothes are kept at a particular place. They are grouped together at one place. They belong to me. My mother's at one place, my father's at one place, my brothers and sisters at one place. Had it been like all the clothes are just jumbled up on the bed and we have to select one, it must have been very difficult. So this is what classification does. right? When you go to a chemist shop, you ask for a cough syrup. Now he has so many different varieties of medication, so many medicines. Had it been all jumbled up, he will not be able to take out any single of them. So what exactly he has done? He has also done this particular process of classification, because it will help him in distinguishes. He has kept all the type of cough syrups at one place, right? He had kept all the other type of medication related to fever at one place, related to one particular disease at one place. So this is what assists him. This is also an example of classification. There are so many hundreds and thousands of examples of classification. This is done in order to make the study of things easy. This is what exactly we are going to do. This process of classification has been defined as sorting out. We are going to sort out, we are going to separate out the materials into different groups depending upon their properties, right? So we will be making up the groups depending upon their similarities and dissimilarities in their properties. This is what we are going to do, classification, right? So distinguishing and grouping the objects according to their properties, in which similar objects are placed together in one particular group, that is known as classification, right? The first step of classification of the things around us starts from living or non-living. Another way of doing it is whether it is naturally occurring or it is a man-made object. So many things we see around, right? This is a chair, this is a table, this is a book, this is a tree, this is a bird.